What is going on, guys? My name is Joltage, and today I'm bringing you another SPL LC game between Fitzy of the Scooters and Madoka of the Ruiners. Both of these competitors are coming off week 1 losses and are going to be looking to bounce back with a win. On Fitzy's side, we see yet another Drifloon. Drifloon's been really popular this SPL, but a whole lot of birds, man. We have 3 birds. With that, Archon might not even have flying step. It could be a defensive Archon as another Fletch check, as Chincho's not the best Fletch check, especially when combined with Dig. Madoka's got a just pretty standard looking bulky offense team. But anyway, we've started off into here. We've got Chincho in a Staryu. It's very possible that this is a Scarf Chincho, but Madoka has one of the best Chincho answers in the game in her own Chincho. So I kind of expect the safe move out to that, but she instead goes to Fungus and gets Scald burned, as Scald known to do. Fitzy doesn't want to. I assume that this is probably actually a Scarf Chincho, just by the way he let out with that. And went for the safe play, the safe play of Scald burning something. And Fungus is now crippled. Oh, it isn't Scarf Chincho, as has been revealed. I feel like he could have definitely bluffed that some, but bluffed that by hard switching out. But the Volt switch is fine, gets extra damage on. Madoka fires off a free Spore. Nothing really wanted to come in on the Spore, as Fitzy decides to sleep his Archon. Here I expect Fitzy to switch out perhaps into his... I expect Fitzy to switch out. He goes to its Krogunk, as Madoka also switches into Staryu. Staryu is known to carry Psychic, so Krogunk is not super safe here, as Fitzy switches out to the Chincho on the incoming Psychic. We've got Life Orb Staryu, which is cool to see. A lot of people like to run a defensive Staryu, but Life Orb Staryu is very strong. Fitzy tries to play. These guys are playing really fast, but Chincho comes in to block the Volt Switch, as we've got a Heal Bell Chincho on Madoka's part, as it avoids the Scald Burn. As it gets rid of its Scald Burn and Fungus's Scald Burn, so Fungus is no longer quite as crippled. We got Chincho v Chincho. I don't know if one of these has the HP ground. I assume if one of them did, they would have gone for it, but it doesn't look like either of them do. Fitzy goes for 3rd Scald of the game. This one actually doesn't burn. Surprise, surprise. So we've got Fungus in here. Fungus can... I expect Fungus to actually it can't pivot out here, because the Volt Switch is definitely a play Fitzy could make here, as he does end up going for the Volt Switch play. Let's see what Fungus is going to do. I expect... I think the Giga Drain's a fine play here. Actually, it'd be really interesting if this was double powder Fungus, as a Stun Spore would really hurt whatever. Though it could also be HP Fire or Fight. I'm more inclined to think Fire, because Timber pretty much checks Pawn really well. No, it definitely could be double powder, as Timber kind of gets through both Poniard and Ferroseed. But Madoka just goes for the safe Giga Drain in case Fitzy wanted to stay in, as Fitzy fires off a knockoff and does get hit with the Hidden Power Fight. It's pretty standard on Fungus as a way to deal with Poniard, but Fungus proving why it's so popular. Very annoying mon to deal with, as Fitzy goes into his Drifloon. It'll be interesting to see which Drifloon set it is. So far we've only seen the Sub-Wisp Recycle set, but Madoka actually has some decent counters in has decent checks in Tortuga and Chincho, I guess. especially Chincho being a heal well version. But Fitzy sets up the substitute as Madoka goes into her Tortuga. Um, and Tortuga's probably defensive rocks with knockoff, as it does set up these rocks, as Fitzy burns it with the Will-O-Wisp. Madoka decides to switch out into her Chincho to take the unboosted Acro there. That did no damage, but it is unboosted, and this is quite possibly a bulkier Chincho with an Eviolite. Uses Heal Well to rid Tortuga of the burn, and goes for the Volt Switch on the next turn. Madoka can pretty freely go out into the Staryu here. Drifloon is not faster than it, as its Unburden hasn't popped yet, and if it is a Thunderbolt Staryu, as it very well could be, it could have just pretty freely fired one off, though that kind of invites in Chincho. But anyway, she decides to go out to Vullaby instead. Scarf Vullaby is a potential, and oh wow, oh, it wasn't. That is weird as shit. We've got Aftermath Drifloon. I can only assume that was a an oversight on Fitzy's part. And the knockoff takes it out. I don't know if that means it is Scarf Vullaby. It very much could be Scarf Vullaby, but Drifloon runs a variety of speeds. Fitzy says he doesn't. You usually don't need Unburden, so that okay. Okay, so it wasn't on accident, but Fitzy is calling this a Scarf Vullaby, so I'm willing to assume that his Drifloon was out. Was supposed to be faster than this, as Scarf Vullaby makes a rare appearance out here. Nothing really wants to take a knockoff. I mean, I guess he can go Fletch here, though Madoka has really strong Fletch answers in defensive Tortuga and Chincho. If this is like an HP Grass or a Natural Gift Fletch, that would be really cool, but I'm not sure that'll be the case here. But he does end up going Fletch. It's one of the only things that's really going to take this knockoff. I still think it's interesting that Fitzy decided to forego Unburden there. But anyway, Fletch U-turns out of the incoming Tortuga. I expect Fitzy's got either Chincho or Krogunk to go out into. He does decide to go out into Krogunk. Chincho would just invite in Madoka's Chincho, and we've got Focus Blast Krogunk. That is really cool. I actually tried to run that on I've actually tried to run that before, but I've honestly been in a team building slump, so none of my teams are good recently. Actually, I've been in a slump in general. But enough about me. Freaking Focus Blast Krogunk is really cool to see, as it takes out that Tortuga with ease. Well, I guess with ease. This seems to be pretty offensive Krogunk, as Staryu is in, and Staryu gets to fire off the freest Psychic of its life. Chincho is coming in at 56%. So how much did it take from the Psychic before? It took 32, so BJ Chincho will have its BJ popped on this incoming Psychic. Should he decide to go out and do it, I can't really see another play working out for him. Staryu's really threatening to his team. So while Madoka's team looks pretty standard, it's got some cool underused sets, such as this Life Orb Staryu and the Scarf Vullaby. Fitzy actually decides to go out to his Sleeping Archon, whose Berry Juice is popped. Perhaps trying to pivot around this Staryu. I don't really think it's going to be too much avail, as he goes Chincho on this turn, taking another Psychic. It's a crit. And it is not BJ Cho, unless its berry juice was already popped. I don't remember. But the crit psychic definitely, well, Chincho wasn't taking 2 psychics anyway, but the crit definitely hurt its ability to play. Yeah, I think it was an Eviolite show. But anyway, Fletchling is able to revenge the Staryu as Madoka gets Chincho in for free. Chincho's a pretty solid Fletch tech, especially when there's no Diglett to back it up, and can fire off a really free Volt Switch there. I don't really see Madoka winning this game. I just see Madoka winning this game, barring some weirdness with Chincho. She decides to go out to Vullaby. Vullaby forces in the Fletchling to take more rocks damage. So that was definitely a good play on Madoka's part. And she can just go right back out to Chincho to take this Acro. Yeah, I'm going to... Oh, it is berry juice. Huh. I was really thinking that would be a Eviolite Chincho. But Fletchling is able to roost on the Chincho, though an Acro from here will not take out Timber from full, so Timber can fire off a free Drain Punch as it does. And Fitzy switches into his Krogunk to take that. I don't know how Focus Blast Krogunk deals with Timber 1v1. Focus Blast is probably going to hurt a lot, actually, because that's a really strong move if you think about it. But he instead elects to go for the Sludge Bomb as Krogunk's Berry Juice popped out. Berry Juice is not an item you see too often on Krogunk. The only analysis set with Berry Juice is Nasty Plot. I don't see this being Nasty Plot Gunk. And it's probably just a pretty offensive full special one, as the next Sludge the Sludge Bomb, he just fires off another Sludge Bomb, and the Drain Punch Drain Punch recovery is going to be enough to prevent Timber from being killed by the next Sludge Bomb, though Mach Punch is also a thing. So yeah, Madoka's got this game at this point. Fletch is able to take out the Timber, but Chincho's going to clean up with Scald. Even there's really just no real way, unless Fitzy can avoid a Scald burn and get Chincho low enough to where Acro can kill where Acro can kill. So he's technically got a shot as long as he can avoid the 30% chance here. He's got to get Chincho to about 24. He's got to get Chincho to about 24, so he has to avoid a crit and a burn for 3 more turns now, as he does again. 3 more turns. He has to avoid a crit and a burn. So if he does that, he is super lucky player. That Skull did a lot more of probably the max roll. And people in lobby are complaining about rolls again. It's really annoying. It's not really that much more damage. It's like 1 or 2 HP, but yeah, God, really irritating. But actually, it gets it again, so it might not be max. There might be a couple. It might be the max roll, but it might be a couple of them. But Fitzy is still avoiding the burns here and the crits. If he can avoid it one more time, I think he needs to avoid it one more time, and he can take out the Chincho. And I'm not sure how well Scarf Vullaby takes an Acro from Fletchling. If he does this, this is going to be insane. Yeah, it'll be really insane if Fitzy is able to pull it out from here. let's see what is going. Let's see what happens. Madoka needs to, yeah. I mean, well, if I don't actually know if Acro can kill, if there is a role that will kill Chincho from here. I don't think it will, so I think he needs to roost again. It's an incredible amount of luck from Fitzy at this point. I apologize if you can hear the beeping or whatever. Oh, he does elect to go for the Acro. That doesn't kill. It might be a low roll. Apparently it was a low roll according to Madoka, but I don't really know. Again, not super into all my calcs, but Madoka does pull it out. Yeah, that was almost crazy. Good game. Madoka's team had pretty good matchup on Fitzy's team IMO, and yeah. And that's going to be a win for Madoka, who brews to 1-1 on the season as Fitzy drops to 0-2. Fitzy's still a strong competitor, so I expect him to stay competitive as the season goes. And I don't know exactly what that does to the series between their teams this week. But yeah, so if you guys enjoyed, please feel free to leave a like, comment if you have any feedback, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.